So I thought it would be a cool idea today to go ahead and sim 50 mock drafts on both services, Pro Football Focus and Pro Football Network. So if you guys have been following the mock drafts on my channel, I use both of these services to go ahead and provide you guys some mock drafts of who might and might not be available at the 18th overall pick. So I went ahead and did 50 mock drafts here. This is not my picks. This is me just simulating it. So for example, I choose a team that isn't the Bengals. Let's say, for example, the Chiefs. And it sims through and it picks the player itself. So I don't control anything. So pretty much all I do with this is, for example, let's just go back. Let's go into this mock draft. Let's use the Chiefs because they have the 32nd overall pick. I click on fast and I go to enter draft, right? Then I just go ahead and go through, and as you can see, the CPU or the computer goes ahead and picks the pick for us. So Kool-Aid McKinsley. So I have zero control over any of these picks for all 50 rounds for both of these services, if that makes sense. So starting off right away, I was actually heavily surprised with how much interesting picks, I will say, happened during these 50 rounds. So both Pro Football Focus, they really went crazy on edge rusher. Edge rusher and defensive lineman. You can see we have Jared Verse, we have Latu, we have Jared Verse again. Again, the same exact concept here. Zoran Newton. I know a lot of people have come down my videos and saying that they would love Newton as well. Could be a great replacement for DJ Reader if we do go ahead and lose him. Again, Latu, yet again. We have Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, and just a lot of pass rushers in general. A lot of defensive linemen. Which, to be honest, listen, at the end of the day, Cincinnati's going to take the best player available, right? Now, obviously, while we sit here and we're saying that they're going to take an offensive tackle, you have to take an offensive tackle. The facts of the facts is they're going to take whoever they think is the best player available. And if it's an offensive tackle, they're going to take an offensive tackle. Obviously, they're slated more toward going for an offensive tackle. But if the best player available is an edge rusher or a defensive lineman like Zerzan Newton, it's not impossible that they would take those said players. Right? If those players are high enough on their draft board, they're going to take whatever player is the top of their draft board, even if it's not an offensive tackle. Now, the crazy thing about most of these picks and most of these drafts is players like Mims were still available during a lot of these drafts, especially when it comes to Pro Football Network. A lot of these drafts still had J.C. Latham, still had Mims available, still had a lot of great offensive tackles available, but we went ahead and instead went for a different position. Now, I will say, breaking down both of these, and you will see in both of these, there's a lot of times where the safety is picked in the first round. Cooper DeJean, a lot of times picked. Cooper DeJean, and then Cameron Kitchens, which I haven't really looked too much into him. A lot of cornerbacks are drafted in both of these. Actually, for safety, there is no safety drafted in the first round for Pro Football Focus in all 50 mock drafts. Cornerback, though, is selected a couple times in Pro Football Focus. It seems like in Pro Football Network, they're very amped to give us either a corner, a safety, or a wide receiver. Those are the three positions it thinks that we need more than anything. A safety, a corner, and a wide receiver. Pro Football Focus, it seems like we need either a defensive lineman, an edge rusher, or that's actually pretty much it, because the other positions are kind of scattered within, right? We have a center a couple of times, actually a few times, Jackson, Powers, Johnson. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times we got him drafted here in the 50 mock drafts. Offensive tackle, we still have some tackles drafted in, the Pro Football Focus one. Actually, for a little bit of time, we got like J.C. Latham, and again, it depends on who's on the board. We have Fuga right here. We also have J.C. Latham. 0 Tyler Guyton, which I'm okay with. I don't really love Tyler Guyton that much. But Mims, again, I know he's more of a project, but still, he's there. For the Pro Football Network, there's only a couple times we saw offensive linemen. And it's like this run right here where Fuga, JC Latham, Fuga, JC Latham again, going down here, Fuga. But not many times did they draft an offensive lineman or a tackle in this draft, which I still find very surprising. Brock Bowers was the first pick, which I thought was kind of funny. And then Brian Thomas Jr., someone that's not most, but a lot of different mock draft experts are saying that we might get. Listen, going into this draft, my personal draft needs, what I think we need is offensive tackle number 1. That's not a question. Center, not really, but I will say guard is also, offensive guard is definitely a position we could be looking for. Number 3 is defensive line. I agree. We might lose DJ Reader. We need a replacement for DJ Reader. That's definitely up there. Tight end is up there. Potentially third string running back is up there as well. I don't know if I agree with most of these mock drafts at all, but it's kind of funny because you look at these and you're like, oh yeah, there's 0% chance it's going to happen, right? Keep in mind that this is before free agency, right? Right now we're February 18th. Free agency happens in a month. When free agency goes through, we're going to figure out a lot of different things. Number 1, what's going on with T. Higgins? If we lose T. Higgins, then it wouldn't be out of the possibility of drafting wide receiver in the first round. Now, I don't think we're going to lose him. I think we're going to franchise tag him. I think we will keep him for at least next season. If that's the case, then I think wide receiver really just gets taken out completely, and there's no point for wide receiver. Now, if we lose Cheeto, cornerback is a potential position that they could target. If we lose DJ Reader, that's another position, defensive tackle, right? So it really depends on free agency. That's what really this is going to come down to. That's why I wanted to make a video today looking at this, because we're going to make the same exact video we're doing right now in 1 month from now. On March 18th or March 19th, whichever day I choose, we're going to be doing the same exact video and looking at 50 mock draft rounds for both of these services, because I want to see how much they change. And I promise you, after free agency, they're going to change a lot. Because if the Bengals pick up a free agent cornerback or offensive lineman or something like that, they're going to go ahead and, change how they have everything set up. Especially because, again, keep in mind, Jonah Williams might be a free agent. And if we lose Jonah Williams, we're not going to have an offensive lineman at right tackle. So there's a lot of push probably toward these services to give us more offensive linemen. But actually, I want to do one here. Let's go ahead and do one more mock draft before we end off this video. So let me go ahead and go back. Let me go into this. Bengals, I'm just going to do a 1-round mock draft. I'm not doing more than 1 round. So let's see who gets taken and who is available. See, this is what I don't know about Pro Football Network. Because I do like it, but at the same time, Joe Alt number 2. The Commanders are going to take a left tackle, overtaking a future quarterback for their roster. I don't know if I agree with that. See, I don't know. And they have trade-ups and trade-downs, but you're telling... I don't know. You're telling me that no one's going to trade up for a quarterback if Joe Alt goes number 2? Anyway, though, so it also, by the way, for Pro Football Network, it has our draft needs as cornerback, wide receiver, offensive tackle, guard, and tight end. While, yes, I agree, except for I don't think receiver is our draft need. If we bring back T. Higgins. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. I think, cornerback, yes. Tackle, yes. I put tackle number 1. I put offensive guard number 2. I put tight end number 3. Cornerback can be number 4. But I'll be honest, if we are on the board, right, at pick 18, like right now, this is pick 18, and we see Brock Bowers on the board, Newton on the board, Fuga's on the board, I'll be honest, I think this would be it's going to be a hard sell. I mean, this is what I'm talking about with the 50-round mock draft. This is why this website, for some reason, does not make sense to me. Because Brock Bowers is on the board, right? Newton's on the board. Fuga's on the board. Cooper DeJean is on the board. I don't really care about that. But Brian Murphy II is on the board. Kool-Aid McKinsley's on the board. Mims is on the board. Tyler Guyton's on the board. There is so many good players on the board. There is no way at pick 18 there's going to be this amount of players who are on the board that's this good. I just don't think that's going to happen at pick 18. I mean, because if you're pick 18, Brock Bowers, I get a tackle in the second round. But I just don't think that ever is going to happen. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.